Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to Sab Talk 52, or Sponge Talk number 2, since this is still an episode of Sab Talk, just rethemed. Some of you might be wondering, why did it take so long to make another Sponge Talk? Well, honestly the reason's pretty simple. A lot of my Sab Talks mention SpongeBob. From the comments, to the news, to even the thumbnails. I even did a SpongeBob theme parody, so for a while I was like, do I even need this series anymore? But then I was in the thought process of, a lot of people who suggested stuff for Sab Talk 50 really wanted a SpongeBob themed one. So I thought, hey, if people weren't interested in Sab Talk 50, they can watch this instead. Though I do encourage people to watch it. We put a lot of effort into it. So here's how it's gonna go down. I'm gonna introduce it with a Sab story time, then I'll pitch some potential ideas for videos, then I'll end it with a Q&A. I was originally gonna talk about the Patrick Star Show, but I think I'll save that for Sab's movie nights, because that's also a series I need to get back to. Now that everything's cleared up, let's get to Sab Storytime SpongeBob SquarePants edition. Out of all the videos on my channel, my SpongeBob theme song remakes, yes plural, make the most views, and are the videos that pay me almost monthly. What started as a tribute to the 20th anniversary turned into an exploitative template that's somewhat easy to reuse to make variants. Now that I make theme songs reviews, is this still a passion project, or is this just an excuse to make more money? The answer is complicated, so let's start from the beginning. It all started back in the mid-2000s. Yep, this is surprisingly enough a childhood story. As a kid, I was very fascinated by the SpongeBob theme song for some weird reason. Filming it on my tiny camera, singing it over and over, studying it frame by frame, and probably driving everyone I know insane. Due to my love for the song and its visuals, I wanted to make a storyboard. So I drew some crude images of the SpongeBob theme and laid them on my living room floor since my studio wall didn't have enough room. Since I wasn't as big brain as I am now, to an extent, I didn't know how to rip music off of CDs, and I'm unsure if YouTube video downloaders were a thing in the mid-2000s. If they were, they're probably seen as malware. So I did the most reasonable thing I could with a feeble mind like myself, put my first SpongeBob CD in the comically large radio, and get my stepdad on board. He pressed play while I filmed the boards and tried timing it to the song. A few months ago, my stepdad told me his side of the story since I didn't remember that much of it. He said that the story wasn't as simple as I thought it was. This thing took multiple takes, and I apparently cried and gave up until he told me that I could do it. The way I word it doesn't sound as emotional as the way he told me, but long story short, he used it as a teaching moment to teach me that everything will be okay. I had a bumpy childhood, so that's probably why he made that the moral. So we did it and put it in Movie Maker to give it a cruddy filter. I used to have it on YouTube, but for some stupid reason during my tweens, I had a mass delete copyright video spree. I regret it nowadays, because I could have just privated them. Hey, Tween Sab, you're a f***ing idiot! So sadly the original video is lost media, which is sad because it helped me discover who I am today. However, I tried animating the theme song after that a few more times. I did it in MS Paint, I did it in Paint.net. The only footage of the Paint.net one is someone who blatantly stole it. He even stole my newest one. There was one made in Sprite Sheets, which is also lost. And I did another one in Paint.net where I tried to imitate the epic SpongeBob style guide. The best to my ability anyway. But sadly, the hard drive I had it on was wiped on accident. Due to my connection to this repetitive sea shanty, and due to how much personal connection I have to it, it's no surprise that I did it again for the 20th anniversary, since I finally knew how to animate with a real software, and due to having expanded knowledge of not only the theme song but animation as a whole, I used everything I learned from my original cartoons and my past to make the best SpongeBob theme I could. What I did first was think about what I liked about the intro, and what I like about the show in general. I started by thinking about SpongeBob's design. Thought about making a season 1, but the season 9 intro already did that. I considered the newest design, but I felt like it would have been too drastic. I was also afraid of comments saying, "Why did you use the new design? Old SpongeBob better! Seasons 1, 2, 3 for life!" So, as a compromise, I went with the Season 2 to 3 design, since it's vintage enough to be nostalgic, but modern enough to make this remake feel fresh. After that, I was thinking of other ways to make this unique. The first thing I did was painting the pirate. I wanted to stick with the original painting since I didn't think I would do it justice, and I wanted to keep Hillenburg's mouth to pay tribute to his recent passing. I didn't want to just use the original opening for that section, so I took inspiration from the Truth or Square intro and the beginning of SpongeBob 4D. The 4D inspiration is subtle, but I like the bounce and zoom when you get submersed into Bikini Bottom in the original ride, so I utilized it into the pineapple shot. I almost did CG water physics for the absorbent portion of the theme, but it didn't look that good, so I just stuck with 2D. For the shading, I took inspiration from Sponge Out of Water, since I felt like it would make the theme feel more cinematic. I made CG bubbles solely because I thought it looked cool, and I didn't want to do this international SpongeBob bubble frame by frame. For the ships, I took artistic liberties to pay tribute to the show. I decided to go with the Invisible Boatmobile, the first boating school episode, the paddy wagon, and his inflatable pants. I almost went with the bubble car from Burst Your Bubble, but I felt like it stood out a little too much compared to the other picks. And since the previous scene involved bubbles, I wanted to add more variety. I also almost added a big birthday blowout title card, but I ended up scrapping it. I forgot why. It's probably because there wasn't an HD version of the background at the time to go off of, and I forgot about it during production. For the fish scene, I originally went with a simple water shot, but I decided to put Con Street below them, along with making him grind around the water to make it feel organic. I made the bamboo CG just because. Spinning and jumping parts I barely changed. All I have to say is that the backgrounds were hard to replicate. Mid-production, I changed the aspect ratio from 1920 by 1080 to 1280 by 540. Cinematic quality. I did this because I thought Sponge on the Run was going to be in that aspect ratio, especially due to the Space Cats animatic. Yeah, this opening came out a few weeks before Sponge on the Run got its first trailer. For the logo, I took inspiration from multiple sources. The blue water thing and wood were taken from the new logo, the yellow was inspired by the first merchandise logo, while the pink was inspiration from the old logo. SpongeBob drawing was also inspired by the sketch used in the 1997 pilot, which was also used in pre-hibernation week. I was originally gonna use the modern logo, just added a little SpongeBob doodle, but just like with SpongeBob's new design, I thought it would have looked too drastic. The flute part was the most drastic change from what it was originally to the final project. I was just gonna do a regular flute and just have him do the pose he did afterward in the Battle for Bikini Bottom theme. So what I ended up doing was making a CG. This was done due to a variety of reasons. The first one was so I can release it on November 6th, the same day as Truth or Square, to pay tribute to the upcoming movie Sponge on the Run, and more importantly to Stephen Hillenburg. If I did it now, I would have made the model look more like Sponge on the Run, similar to my entry for the SpongeBob movie Rehydrated. So yeah, that's the long and bizarre story of what inspired me to make the intro remake everyone loves too much. And then after that, I got constant requests of do the Christmas opening, do the international opening, do the pilot opening, do SpongeBoy Ahoy, do Lego, do German. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'm just like, I have some other cartoons you can check out in the meantime. I'm not just the theme song guy. Although I often rag about it being the only thing most people want, I'm still proud of how it turned out, and I'm happy that so many people like it. Though going forward, I want to find a way to capture that spark of popularity with something else. Maybe it's something SpongeBob, maybe it's something else. But I feel like I should try to make another hit like the theme song remake still be relevant once I make every theme song I possibly could, or if I eventually get sick of it. I recently remade Astrology with Squidward, so maybe I can do something like that. If you have any ideas, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear your suggestions. Speaking of trying to find the next SpongeBob theme song, I have some video pitches. The first one, weirdly enough, is the Truth or Square intro. The Truth or Square intro would really depend on how busy I am with other projects, but it sounds like fun. What I'd end up doing is doing something very simple and sort of easy to animate. Instead of stop motion, I'd be using 3D, and I'm thinking of using some sort of variant of my current SpongeBob model. The hardest thing might be the audio though, mainly in the vocals, because I can't use CeeLo Green. He's a celebrity and Viacom CBS will own me. But I did do an instrumental of it, and I'm pretty proud of that. So yeah, I just need vocals and we should be good in the audio department. Another idea I had was Nicktoons Summer Splash Rehydrated. This was mainly inspired by the recent Astrology with Squidward shorts I did a while back, but I thought doing a similar rig of SpongeBob and Friends would be a lot of fun. The main downside to this is that there's 20 minutes worth of Nicktoons Summer Splash shorts. And I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't want to reanimate all shorts. That sounds so tedious. So if I did this, I would have to shrink it down tremendously. But if we ever figure something out in terms of what shorts to pick, then I might do it. Okay, I have an idea. Comment your favorite Nicktoons Summer Splash short if you've seen it, and I don't know, I'll keep that in the back of my mind. My third pick is a continuation of one of my videos. Remember way back in the day where I compared the first movie to Sponge Out of Water in a Versus? Yeah, I was thinking something like that, just with the full trilogy. Putting it in different categories, analyzing what works and what doesn't, and really doing a deep dive of all three movies. I've already watched Sponge on the Run 4 times, so I feel like I have a general opinion of what I thought about it. So yeah, those are all my video pitches. So let's get to questions. SpongeBob Master says, what was your first SpongeBob game? The first game I actually got to play was Creatures from the Krusty Krab on the Game Boy Advance. TR Studio says, I didn't know you had the first ever SpongeBob DVD from 2002. Oh yeah, that was a gift. It's a nice DVD. It's really cool. SBS 10 Animation says, here's my SpongeBob related question. 1. What did you think of the spin-off series The Patrick Star Show? I can't say anything yet because I want to do a Sab movie night on it. 2. Which spin-off show of SpongeBob would you rather watch? Camp Coral or The Patrick Star Show? Hard to say, they're both good for different reasons, but I might say The Patrick Star Show because out of all the spin-offs so far, that one's the most unique. 3. Have you heard that Nickelodeon's getting a new game called Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl? And what do you think about it? I am really hyped for it. Though I don't care what anyone says, Mr. Krabs is a requirement. He needs to be in this game. He is a perfect choice for a brawler. Actually, I made a list of all the candidates I want a DLC later on down the road, both ironic and genuine. Yes, Hugh Neutron's on it, why wouldn't he be? And 4. What's your favorite parody of SpongeBob videos on YouTube? Oh boy, hard to say, there's so many of them. An obvious contender is Uncle Al, Bang's a good one, SpongeBong's good. Christian the Thomas and Friends fan Alt Extra 2 says, are you sure you don't want Karate Island condo? I would love to see you battle Udon. No, I have no interest in buying a condo. I'm a broke college student. Also, I wouldn't be able to battle Udon. I'd be as helpless as SpongeBob. SpongeBob the Vlogger says, 1. What do you think about the 6 new episodes of Camp Coral? I like them. The animation's gotten a lot better, and I especially love the finale. 2. Do you think SpongeBob is milking its memes with all the merchandise? Absolutely. Sometimes it can be funny. I love the fact that there's a handsome Squidward figure. Sometimes it feels very overboard. Like, do we really need a Monopoly SpongeBob meme edition? They're one step away from making SpongeBob merchandise. So if that does exist, I'll buy it ironically. But yeah, I do feel like they're milking it, and I think they should tone it down a little bit. There's more to SpongeBob than just memes. 3. Have you watched SpongeBob and Taran? I haven't watched it fully captioned, but I have seen it. I've seen the full quadrilogy as a matter of fact, despite barely understanding what it says. It's a trip. It's a real trip. I don't know how to feel about it. JP plus Protuan says, what was your first SpongeBob episode? I can't recall, but I believe it was Tea at the Treedom? But I could be wrong on that. I don't remember my first SpongeBob episode. However, my main entry point to the series is the movie, which is a fitting one. Ollie Disney CR says,
welcome to the Salty Spittoon. How tough are you?
How tough am I? How tough am I? I reanimated the SpongeBob theme song over and over again.
Yeah, so?
Without wanting to blow my brains out.
Right this way. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Devin TR says, Questions, about only 2. 1. What's your favorite SpongeBob DVD from your collection? I personally like the complete season DVDs. No contest, Sponge on the Run. Cause even though it's out now in the US, I had to get this from Canada, and I am forever grateful for that. Also, I got the bilingual edition. 2. Have you heard of the iceberg charts? And if so, your thoughts on my SpongeBob Lost Cut Content iceberg? So I checked it out. Good stuff. Aiden the Rail Fan 21 says, did you that Patrick Star now has his own show now? Who doesn't? Kahoo Hudson, who does live in a pineapple under the sea? I know it's not SpongeBob SquarePants, so who was it? Oh, that's easy. Waldorf. Sponge on the Run / Bobasponka al Rescate says, have you seen Camp Coral in German? Not yet, but I have seen the Spanish, the Portuguese, probably some other languages, and the illegal Persian dub. So that's all the SpongeBob related questions. I hope you guys enjoyed Sponge Talk number 2. I have no idea when I'll do another one. Probably in another 50 episodes. But if you have any other questions, please comment below. The next episode is going to go back to normal, so that means you can give me some non-SpongeBob related questions to add some variety. And as always, it's all Sponge from here.